All right, so we're going to start off today with talking about how to develop marketing product for platform. And let's take a look again at, I want to start over here.
Recording in progress.
So we talked a little bit last time about core product, actual product, and augmented product, but let's talk a little bit more on that. So you are looking to essentially determine if there's tangible goods are actually let's see. Start with the core product. All right. So the core product is the foundation of any social marketing strategy. And really, it serves as the central benefit or value that the target audience will receive. And so it's crucial to clearly define what this core product benefit is, as it directly relates to the behavioral change you wish to promote. So, for example, in a campaign promoting exercise, the core product is not just the physical fitness, but also the long term health benefits like increase in energy, like reduced risks of disease, and like improved mental well being. So, these are all part of the core product. So decisions regarding the core product itself, so any strategic decisions is what we're talking about. Regarding the core product itself, it should focus on potential benefits. So things like that are tangible and things that are intangible. So we're talking about tangible benefit, you might include improved physical health, and intangible benefits, you could feel a sense of personal accomplishment or increased social interaction. So understanding the core product is also involves addressing potential barriers to behavior adoption. So for example, if time is a barrier to regular exercise, the campaign might promote short, high intensity workouts that can be completed in under 15 minutes, right? So you have to look at the barriers and think, okay, what is preventing people from getting to my core product? Is it time? Is it space? Whatever it is, the idea is to review these barriers and try to avoid them as they concern the core product. So it's important to review the avoidable benefits and costs associated with the product. And so in social marketing, costs are not just like a financial cost, which is something that we've talked about before, but things like time, effort, and social risk. So for example, participating in a smoking cessation program, it requires individuals to overcome social stigmas and change their daily routines. And that might not be something easy for people. So as a social marketer, your task is to minimize these costs and to highlight the core product's benefits in a way that resonates with the target audience's value and priority. So that's for the core product itself. Add a water bill, there it is. All right. So now we're talking about the actual product, and the actual product is the tangible aspect of the behavioral change campaign. So we're talking about specific goods and services that facilitate the adoption of the core product or the core behavior. So for example, if you have a campaign that is promoting hygiene, the actual product could be the hand sanitizer, the hand washing station, or even educational workshops that teach proper hand washing techniques. So it's very important to tailor these actual products to the community specific needs to ensure accessibility and relevance. So now we move on to augmented product, and that refers to additional elements that enhance the main behavioral change initiative, making it more attractive and easier to adopt. So this we're talking about incentives, that would be an augmented product, supplementary services, or innovative tools that provide additive value. So the behavior being promoted, those are all augmented products. And so, for example, let's say you're doing a campaign that encourages children to wash their hands regularly. The augmented product could be the robot that demonstrates proper hand washing techniques in a fun and interactive way, making the behavior more engaging and making it something more of what they want to do. So these are the additional features that are tagged on to the core product that makes people want to engage in it. So making the campaign tangible is an essential part of the augmented product strategy. So this involves creating visible, interactive, or experiential components that really just make the behavior more relatable. So for example, if you're setting up a hand washing station at community events, make the concept of the hand hygiene more real and more intimate, and that encourages people to participate actively. So the augmented product, it should be designed to offer additional motivation or support. And this could involve offering a reward, things like certificates or badges for consistent behavior adoption, or providing supplementary resources such as free informational workshops. And so here the idea is to ensure that the augmented product not only supports the core and the actual product, but also addresses any barriers to adoption, making the behavior more appealing and making it also more accessible. So that's something to keep in mind. Questions so far? Everyone good? All right. So now let's talk about decisions regarding tangible goods and social marketing and the fact that they often require a strategic assessment of what target behaviors demand. So that would be introducing new tangible products or products. Sorry, it's very distracting down there. So give me a second. Let me shut the door. All right, sorry guys. Okay, so introducing a new tangible good. Okay. So introducing new tangible goods can actually be necessary when your current options are insufficient or not effective during driving behavioral change. So for example, you guys, if a campaign is focused on increasing water conservation, a new tangible good would be a more efficient water saving device that hasn't been available before. So that would be, you're looking at what is needed and you're creating a new tangible product that makes that a possibility, okay? Otherwise, what you're also looking at is improving and or enhancing current tangible products, and that could obviously be a lot more cost effective because you're not creating something. This would be redesigning existing products to be more user friendly or adding features that increase their appeal. So for example, adding clearer instructions or more appealing packaging to an existing health supplement makes it easier for users to incorporate it into their daily routines, okay? So these decisions are, as you're thinking through these strategies, they're really very important in helping you formulate the way in which you're going to execute your marketing campaign, your social marketing campaign. And this is true of all campaigns as well. You don't want a surface level understanding. So you want an in-depth understanding of what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to offer. Because when you do that, there's a lot of, for example, digital marketing companies out there. What makes a good digital marketing company stand out from the other is their ability to really understand these little nuances, and it's not surface level. So anyone can create ads on Instagram, but creating the right ads, the content itself in the ad is more difficult, okay? And that requires this and this kind of understanding and these kind of decisions. So Now we're talking about a need or an opportunity for a substitute product in social marketing. Here we're talking about exploring alternatives that provide a safer and more effective way to achieve the same goal. So these are obviously things that you can consider as alternatives, right? And so this approach is relevant when the current behavior is harmful or risky. So things like smoking or excessive alcohol consumption. So in these cases, introducing substitute products like nicotine patches or non-alcoholic beverages, it provides a pathway for individuals to transition towards a healthier behavior, and the substitute should fulfill a similar desire or need with reduced risk. So at this point with alcohol and smoking, we're not looking to completely eliminate risk as soon as it happens. What we're looking for is to stopping that behavior, but we can stop that behavior by replacing it with something else. And in this case, something that is similar, enough for the person to still feel, they're alcoholic, they're used to constantly drinking something. So a replacement with non-alcoholic beverages could be a good starting point, even though we can argue that these beverages are sugary and they're high in calories and things like that. But the idea is to get people off of alcohol. And as they move through the program, eventually you want to get them off of that as well, so that you're really providing the benefit. But that would be a good starting point for the campaign. So development of substitute products really requires a deep understanding of the real benefit of the competing behavior. So the competing behavior is smoking, the competing behavior is alcohol. And in the example of smoking may fulfill a social need or offer stress relief. In this scenario, substitute products may be designed to address the underlying psychological and social driver, not just the physical habit. And so this means that the campaign promoting nicotine patches should also include support for stress management or offer social alternatives like group supports and sessions, because the idea here, again, is to win over the competing behavior. And if you understand physiologically and psychologically what's happening and socially what's happening, then you can address all these things at the same time. Okay. So in addition to providing safer solutions, the substitute product should be made as accessible and as appealing as possible. And so this involves leveraging price strategies, availability, or even promotional tactics that highlight the immediate benefit of switching to the safer option. And so the goal is to make the substitute product an obvious, attractive, and feasible alternative for the target audience. All right. How is that for everybody? How do we feel about this stuff? So this entire kind of book or chapters builds on one another. And so what we began on the chapters before, we're continuing now. So I get it that it can be really overwhelming in terms of putting all of it together, because we tend to look at each chapter independently, but not in this case. In this case, really, it's a building on top of the other. So every single one of these steps, which you can see that every chapter starts with a step, right? Step 6 or step 7 in this case. So every single one of these steps builds on the other. So the other has to have happened before. And because there's a lot of data, it's kind of hard not to focus on one at the time. But what I want you to do is, or what I want you to keep track or in the back of your mind, is that these things are, again, they build on each other. So you want to take a holistic approach and not just an individual approach as you're thinking about these things. So not each slide is independent or each chapter is independent. The entire book or the entire series of chapters is interdependent. Questions so far? How are we doing? Okay, so react with a thumbs up if you're doing okay, because I can't see you right now, so I cannot tell if you're actually okay or you've fallen asleep. All right, thank you, my friends. All right, so social marketing, in social marketing, so services like are often intangible. So that means that they drive behavioral change. So now these services, they include education related services. So things like workshops, trainings, or information sessions. And then educational services are in particular are actually impactful for raising awareness, shifting attitudes, and equipping individuals with skills needed to adopt a new behavior. So for example, nutrition education service can actually guide individuals on healthier eating habits by providing knowledge and meal planning strategies. The next thing that we have is personal service, and these are tailored to meet individual needs. And this could include a one-on-one coaching session, counseling, personalized feedback. And so personal service play a crucial role in addressing specific barriers or motivators that might be hindering behavioral change. So for instance, a personal fitness trainer can offer customized guidance to help someone achieve their fitness goal, which might be more effective than general public campaigns. So that's that. Counseling service and community service are also really important in behavioral change campaigns, especially when we're talking about mental health or substance abuse. And so counseling, really what it does is that it helps individual process personal barriers, while clinical services offer professional interventions for more complex issues. Community services, on the other hand, they involve support systems that foster a sense of belonging. And if you're doing a community or if you're doing a behavioral change campaign, it's good to have all of these things set as part of your overarching goal for your campaign. So you can also take the decision to develop and offer new services, and that's really driven by identifications of unmet needs or gaps in existing services. So for example, if a survey reveals that there's a significant lack of support for managing diabetes in certain communities, maybe what you want to do is develop a diabetes management program. And that would include regular checkups, nutrition counseling, medication management, and things like that. So the development of these services, it has to be grounded in formative research that is very much tailored to the needs, preferences, and cultural context of the target audience. On the other hand, when you're improving or enhancing an existing service, you are looking to modify or add features that make it more effective and or more appealing. So a good example would be in a recycling program that is not really utilized, so it's underutilized, adding digital reminders, increasing the convenience of recycling bins, or offering rewards for participants could enhance the program's effectiveness. So for example, sending out, so if you're part of the city waste management and you have all these people's phone numbers, they opt into your messages, then maybe the trash gets picked up on Friday, maybe on Wednesday, sending a message reminding people, hey, please remember to recycle. And when you do that on a weekly basis, people start to actually pay attention to that. It's like, oh, yeah, let me do that. It's easy, it's something convenient. And so that would be improving and enhancing an existing service, which would be the text reminder service that you already have. Doing okay, everybody? Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
So, awesome. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
So now we're design thinking, and that is a human-centered approach that focuses on making products and services attractive, easy to use, and effective in solving problems. So when we're talking about social marketing, you're looking at design thinking in a way that emphasizes the need to deeply understand the target audience's experiences, their needs, and their challenges. And so the process involves empathy building techniques. And so these would be things like interviews, observations, and co-creation sessions with the community to ensure that the end product aligned with the user needs. So in the context of social marketing, design thinking aims to determine the core product. And so the primary benefit or solution being offered. So you're looking at the example. So if the behavior change objective is to increase hand hygiene, the core product might be the feeling of safety and health. And so design thinking, what it does is that helps refine this core product by exploring how it can be made more appealing and or more accessible. And so this could also involve testing different hand washing station designs or soap fragrances that encourage the usage. Another aspect of this design thinking, is really just determining the features of tangible goods and services. And so this would be the prototyping, the user testing to refine the features of the things that are actually tangible to make that behavioral change easier to adopt. So for example, if you're looking at a fitness app developing through design thinking, you would go through multiple versions. You would test for end user friendliness, you would test for engagement and effectiveness in motivating regular exercise. And so that's what we're trying to do in this design thinking aspect. The next thing you have is branding. And branding in social marketing is more than just, and in any marketing really, is more than the logo, and it's really more than the slogan. It is the entire identity and perception of the behavioral change initiative. So a brand encompasses the name, the symbol, and the design that distinguishes it from other initiatives. In the context of a health campaign promoting smoking cessations, the brand could be recognizable symbol of the smoke-free lifestyle, and that would be using things to evoke the feeling of empowerment, of health, and community support. So we're talking about the branding it's as a whole. And then we're talking about now brand identity. And brand identity essentially refers to the visual and verbal elements that can convey the campaign's personality, values such as colors, font, messaging, tone, and brand image as well. And so the brand image in this point, so the identity is who you are or who this brand is. If you were to describe it to someone, how would you describe it? What words would you use? What colors would you describe that brand with? Because there is psychological color associations. There are certain colors that make you feel safe. There are certain colors that make you feel empowered. There are certain colors that make you feel more loved or warm, and so forth. So these are all part of the visual. And then the verbal is how you would describe that as well. Brand image is the audience perception of the brand, which can shape the brand, can be shaped by their experience with the campaign and the result they try to achieve, the word of mouth within the community, and so forth. And then the process of branding involves creating or consistently reinforcing the desired image and ensuring that every interaction with the brand supports the behavioral change. And then the last thing that we have is that brand awareness is, which is a crucial part in determining how well the campaign is recognized and remembered by the target audience. So higher brand awareness increases the likelihood of engagement and behavioral change. So you're looking at effective strategies for building brand awareness, which includes things like community events, digital campaigns, and partnerships with trusted local organizations that can really just amplify the brand's message and its reach. We're good so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful, thank you. All right. Now let's look at branding. Branding is, again, as we said, more than the logo, more than the slogan. It's the entire identity and the perception of the behavioral change initiative. So we're talking about name, symbol, and design that distinguishes it from other initiative. Brand identity, sorry. We just stepped up. Okay. You're looking at the to identify the brand and to evoke the values and the emotions associated with the desired behavioral change. So, for example, you guys have heard of the Got Milk or these commercials or that slogan or that campaign, or Truth in Anti-Smoking, which is another anti-smoking campaign, are strong social marketing brands that have successfully aligned their identity with a specific behavioral change. And so the branding is in these campaigns is designed to resonate deeply with the target audience's values whether it's important to importance of nutrition or empowerment to living a smoke-free life. So the brand promise, it plays a significant role in building trust and commitment. Its core message that communicates what the target audience can expect from adopting the behavior. So, for example, the promise of mental change campaign might be seeking help leads to greater peace and happiness. Brand loyalty is the when people develop an experience, when people really like experience the promised benefits firsthand, is it creates that brand loyalty, and then that allows people to spread that information and talk about it and share it with others. Brand equity is another one, which is which involves the perceived value that the brand brings to the individual and the community. And brand elements, these are now the logos, the taglines, the visual designs that should consistently reflect the core values and the goals of the campaign. And then branding is not just used, sorry. This is really just so ethical considerations when branding are very important. So for a core product, ethical considerations could include being certain that the benefits are real and achievable for the audience. So it's crucial to disclose the probability of success from the very beginning. So saying that if you take this, it's not a guaranteed 100% that you will succeed. Maybe there's a 60% chance that you will quit smoking. And you have to be very transparent about that, because otherwise people get very disappointed, and that diminishes the trust between you and your brand and what you're trying to do and your target audience. And so transparency is very, very important. For the actual product, ethics involve ensuring that the direct support the specific behavior being promoted. So the visibility of sponsors and funders would be clear to maintain transparency and credibility, to really highlight that this is a sponsorship and not a, of that person's free will kind of. And for the augmented product, the ethical consideration would be managing the expectations set by the different stakeholders and ensuring that the product performs as promised. And so it does what it needs to do. Oh, there's that. Sorry, we went through all of them at the same time. All right, my friends, that is it for this lecture. Ideally, if we were in class, we would have done an interactive activity, but I think it's a little bit harder to do this over Zoom. So with that said, let me know if you have any questions, and let's talk about that. All right, 1 second.